of the past, let's rearrange. Y'all really stuck? Puppets now, you know. Yeah, we living in a world where the rules don't apply. They say we gotta follow, but we ready to fly. System got us boxed in, trying to keep us small. But we rise like the phoenix, we ain't scared to brawl. They feeding us lies, but we see through the smoke. We're the voice of the people, we're ready to provoke. They want us to divide, but we're stronger as one. Breaking chains, taking names, yeah, we getting it done. It's us versus the system, we're breaking the mold. Fist in the air, yeah, we taking control. No more silence, no more fear, together we rise. Let them know we're here, riders ignite. In the world of division, they showed us how to share, but the weight of our sorrows, they never taught us to bear. We split our joys and laughter, but the pain remained untold. A burden we carry alone, a story left untold. They taught us to split everything, but not the heavy pain. It lingers in the shadows, a darkness we can't explain. We're left with shattered pieces, trying to mend what's lost. They taught us how to split everything, but not the heavy cost. We learned to divide our dreams and multiply our fears, but the ache in our hearts only grew with passing years. They gave us all the answers, except how to heal. The scars that run so deep, wounds that time can't seal. Yeah, they taught us how to share, but only the good. Smiles and laughter like we understood, but deep down inside there's a storm we hide. Pain in our hearts, we're just trying to ride. Put on a mask, yeah, we play the part, but nobody sees the cracks in the hearts. We share our dreams, the highs and the lows, but when it comes to hurt, we just close the doors. We share the fun times, deflect the pain, laughing in the sunshine, dancing in the rain. But the shadows linger, they creep and they crawl, breaking us down, but we don't share at all. We got hate in our hearts, but we keep concealed. Taught to share the joy, but wounds, they stay unhealed. They say love was easy to divide, but the heartache never subsides. We tried to split everything into two, but the pain lingers strong and true. Shared our dreams, divided our fears, but the sorrow remained through the years. No matter how we tried to let go, the weight of our suffering continued to grow. Now we're apart trying to heal, but some wounds are too deep to conceal. They said splitting up will set us free, yet the pain lingers in you and me. In a world where rules are set in stone, the system's grip tightens, we're not alone. Bound by chains of injustice greed, against the odds we fight to be free. Mighty forces try to keep us down, but our spirits rise, refusing to drown. Defying norms, breaking through the mold. In this battle of wills, our story is told. As the clash continues day by day, we stand united, come what may. For in this world where rules don't apply, our strength and unity will never die. They tried to silence our dreams, but we're loud and clear. With every step forward, conquering fear. They can't hold us back. We're the fire and the flame in this battle for freedom. We're all in the game. They say it's just a game, but we're playing for keeps. With the strength of the many, we're shattering their leaps. No more puppets on strings, we're cutting the ties. With our eyes on the prize, we're reaching for the skies. So let's stand together, let's break down the walls. In this fight for our future, we'll answer the calls. From the ashes, we'll rise like a storm. Riders ignite, it's us versus the system, and we're ready to fight. They built the walls, but we're digging tunnels. With every step we take, we're shaking the bundles. From the streets to the courts, we're raising our voice. In a world full of noise, we're making the choice. They want to keep us blind, but we see the light. Knowledge is power, and we're ready to fight. From the corners of the city to the halls of the state, where the heartbeat of the struggle can't afford to wait. It's us versus the system, we're breaking the mold. This in the air, yeah, we're taking control. No more silence, no more fear. Together we rise, let them know we're here. Riders ignite. They taught us to split everything, but not the heavy pain. It lingers in the shadows, a darkness we can't explain. We're left with shattered pieces, trying to mend what's lost. They taught us how to split everything, but not the heavy cost. Now we stand here broken, searching for some light, hoping for a way out of this never-ending night. But through it all, we find strength in each other's embrace. Together we'll face tomorrow and find solace in this space. They say don't bring the drama, keep it all light. But every night I'm fighting these demons in sight. Whispers in my mind, yeah, they echo when they shout. While I'm smiling on the surface, I'm breaking without. We're sharing the laughter, but what's underneath? A battlefield of sorrow, a war with no peace. They taught us how to split everything, but not the heavy cost. Now we stand here broken, searching for some light, hoping for a way out of this never-ending night. But through it all, we find strength in each other's embrace. Together we'll face tomorrow and find solace in this space. They say don't bring the drama, keep it all light. But every night I'm fighting these demons in sight. Whispers in my mind, yeah, they echo when they shout. While I'm smiling on the surface, I'm breaking without. We're sharing the laughter, but what's underneath? A battlefield of sorrow, a war with no peace. We're warriors in silence, but nobody knows how the pain that we carry just grows and it grows. In a world of lessons learned, they taught us how to stand and burn. But the scars we hide deep inside are the ones that never subside. We followed all the rules they made, but the emptiness never fades. Their wounds like knives, cutting through, leaving wounds that always grew. They painted pictures of success, but couldn't fix what's left a mess. Now we're left to bear the strain of the pain that lingers, never wanes. It's us versus the system, we're breaking the mold. That's in the air, yeah, we're taking control. No more silence, no more fear. Together we rise, let them know we're here.
Every night.
So remember this moment, remember this space, remember this sound. We're the voice of the future, and we won't back down. In the face of oppression, we'll stand up tall. It's us versus the system, and united we'll fall. Ride is short, how we unite.
Alright, y'all, man. Listen, man. Grab all the toxicity, all the toxic people, man. Throw them mofos out the window. Kobe them into a motherfucking trash can. Alright, and forget about them like yesterday's newspaper, because that's what they is. Relevant. Alright. Whoosh. Let me welcome everybody to the Writers for Life brings you the Let's Talk About It podcast. Alright. And it's just another episode. Off my chest, all right, into the mic. I appreciate everybody that's here. Listen, I was trying to do this live yesterday, right, but I ended up doing more poetry than anything because I didn't know how to get everything I wanted to really get out there. But shit, man, I took the time. I did that live. I did the poetry, right, and took some notes, and boom, we're here this morning. All right, we're gonna talk about some, controlling our emotions, right, parenting. All right, bleeding on the people who don't and who cut you. All right, we're gonna talk about all of that today. All right, maybe it's the ancestors on my shoulders, but last night I was trying to get some stuff out, but maybe because of what I'm going through personally, you see where I'm coming from, I couldn't get the words out the way I wanted to, because I wanted to get that out, but in my head I was also thinking about the stuff that my son is going through. You see where I'm coming from? His issues and him, trying to get on his feet and much more. It's like, I don't know, the mom in me was also present, especially on the topic that I wanted to bring about, right? I don't think anybody's in the chat, right? So I'm definitely about to get this John started. If I got, any of my normal subscribers on this John that want to come up after, I say what I say, chop it up real quick with a shorty and give their input and their perspective, or maybe tell their story, right? Y'all more than welcome. I'll drop the link on my community wall and we could chop it up real quick, all right? But in the meantime, in between time, shorty's going to get everything she got to say out of her chest, yo. All right? So, listen, man. I'm not going to sit here and lie, all right? And sugarcoat shit. A lot of us, yes, us, need to learn how to control our emotions. And I'm not talking about fake control, all right? The kind where you smile through pain and call it strength. I'm talking about real control. The kind that starts with honesty, the kind that doesn't wait until you've already burned the bridge, all right? To realize you were the one holding that match. We think we got it all together. We walk around like we're healed, like we're evolved, like we're about the bullshit. But then one day you look in the mirror and realize, damn, I've been holding all this in, and you don't even know. You didn't even know that you've been holding it in, all right? Until it spills out, until you lash out, all right? Until you bleed all over the people who didn't cut you. And you know what's crazy, right? I'm not here to talk about that fake control where you bottle shit up and call it strength, all right? I'm talking about real control, the kind that keeps you from turning your pain into a weapon, all right? Because here's the truth. We think we got it all under control. We walk around like I said just a minute ago, like we're healed, like we're good, like we're solid. All right, until one day we look into the mirror and we realize, damn, I've been holding it all in. And you don't even know until it spills out, until it lashes, until it explodes. And in that moment, you ain't thinking, you ain't breathing, you ain't healing, you're bleeding. Bleeding all over the people who hurt you, and worse, bleeding on the ones who didn't. All right, let that sink in real quick. Because I'm not here to bash no one. All right, I'm just talking. My thing is, right, you're not just bleeding on the ones who cut you, you're bleeding on the ones who tried to love you, the ones who showed up, the ones who didn't deserve the fallout. And now, right, they're walking around with your pain on their clothes, confused, hurt, wondering, what the hell did I do wrong? What the hell did they do wrong? That's not healing. That's emotional terrorism. All right. And I say, I say it with love because I've been there. I've done it. All right. I've watched pain take the mic and speak for me. I've watched trauma drive the car. All right. While my wisdom sat in the trunk. And by the time I realized what happened, the damage was done. The bridge was burned. And the people who cared were gone. All right. I'm just, lucky right now that those people that I thought were gone are here still to this day. All right. So we got to stop. How can I say? We got to stop calling explosions expression. We got to stop mistaking chaos for clarity. We got to stop bleeding on the people who didn't make the wound. I don't know if I make any sense to anybody. All right. Because if you don't learn how to sit with your own pain, it'll perform for you. It'll speak for you. It'll ruin shit for you. All right. And what's crazy is, right, and then you'll be left with nothing but regret and a pile of broken connections. So control your emotions, not to be perfect, but to be powerful, because power, right, isn't loud, is intentional. All right. And healing is choosing not to pass your pain down like a family heirloom. All right. So yeah, feel your shit, cry your tears, scream if you need to, but don't bleed on the innocent. Don't let your pain become their punishment. There's a lot of that happening. All right. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and lie. All right. A lot of the stuff that we're watching, a lot of the stuff that we're going through, all right, is nothing more than monsters we've made. All right. Mirrors we face that mirrors that we are facing. All right. As a parent, I had to face something ugly. All right. Some of us don't know how to control our emotions in front of our kids. And guess what? Our kids watch everything. They don't just hear what we say, they become what we model. All right. You yell, they learn to scream. You shut down, they learn silence. You fake a smile while dying inside, then they learn how to perform happiness while pain eats them alive. And then we wonder why they act out, why they shut down, why they carry rage. All right. Like, we stuck here trying to figure out why is it that our kids are carrying a rage that they can't name. Some of us were taught to hide our feelings, all right? To smile through trauma, to pretend everything is fine while the pain we buried built monsters in the shadows. I know because I was that monster. I was the storm in the room. I was the one bleeding pain into the, how could I say, into the air, right? And calling it parenting, right? I had to look in the mirror and say, this ain't who I am. This ain't who I want to be. This ain't what I want my kids to inherit. All right. I was hurting the people I loved, not because I didn't love them, but because I didn't know how to love myself through the pain. All right. I mean, listen, it could have been because I was a baby having a baby, but no, I can't put that as an excuse. All right. I didn't know how to process it. So I passed it. All right. How can I say this? I passed that pain on. And that's how generational curses stay alive, right? Through silence, through performance, through inherited, how can I say, parents raising confused kids. All right, and it's crazy, right? It's not how how hard you fall; it's how fast you can get pick yourself up. And what's crazy is, right, blessings, blessings, terrible times. I hope I said your name right. All right, but listen, listen. Through silence, all right, through performance, through unhealed parents raising confused kids. It's how these kids behave the way that they do, all right? But I choose different, all right? I turned that pain into motivation. I picked up a pen. I started writing. I put my thoughts, all right, into ink and paper. I wrote the rage, all right, the grief, the confusion, the truth. I wrote the secrets I was told to keep. I wrote the stories I was told to forget, and I turned them into poetic justice. All right, because healing ain't always pretty. Sometimes it's messy, sometimes it's loud. All right, sometimes it's a journal full of tears and a poem that screams louder than your voice ever could. But it's real, all right, and it's mine, and it's how I broke my cycle. Everybody has their own way of doing it. Everybody has their own way of fighting, all right, their own demon in the same hell. So to every parent out there, your kids don't need perfection. They need truth. They need to see you feel, fall, and get back up. They need to see you cry and still show up. They need to see you heal out loud so they don't grow up thinking pain is a secret, all right, they gotta swallow. We don't need to raise performance. We need to raise healers. And that starts with us. All right. So I want y'all to listen to this one more time and y'all will understand how this poem came about.
Where the rules don't apply, they say we gotta follow. Yeah, we living in a world where the rules don't apply. They say we gotta follow, but we ready to fly. System got us boxed in, trying to keep us small. But we rise like the phoenix, we ain't scared to brawl. They feeding us lies, but we see through the smoke. We're the voice of the people, we're ready to provoke. They want us to divide, but we're stronger as one. Breaking chains, taking names, yeah, we getting it done. It's us versus the system, we're breaking the mold. Fist in the air, yeah, we taking control. No more silence, no more fear. Together we rise, let them know we're here. Riders ignite. In the world of division, they showed us how to share. But the weight of our sorrows, they never taught us to bear. We split our joys and laughter, but the pain remained untold. A burden we carry alone, a story left untold. They taught us to split everything, but not the heavy pain. It lingers in the shadows, a darkness we can't explain. We're left with shattered pieces, trying to mend what's lost. They taught us how to split everything, but not the heavy cost.
And that's some real talk. All right. And if you understand, you understand. All right. But real talk, somewhere along the spiritual road, there's a level of honesty that don't let you lie to yourself no more. All right. When you reach it, you pass it on. We walk around as students first, learning how to survive a world. All right. A world that Mother Nature keeps trying to keep alive. All right. Then we become teachers by default because we've lived enough to teach. But don't get it twisted, all right? Teaching don't mean you stop learning. You stay a student, soaking up the lessons so you can show, all right, the next generation how not to crack the same way. Here's the painful part, right? If you can't sit with your own shit, you teach your kids to do the same, all right? We pretend emotional control is some, how can I say, neat little skill we flip on like a light switch, all right? Nah, man. It's a muscle, and most of us never practice. All right? We never practice it until we snap. And then the trauma does the talking for us. Then the kids learn the worst version of us. All right? The one that lashes out, the one that hides pain behind a laugh, the one that hands down a secret wound like an heirloom. All right? So, how do we teach these tiny people around us to control their emotions? First, stop pretending you got it all figured out. That's what we got to do. All right. Say it out loud. Admit you're learning. All right. Let them see you in the messy middle. All right. Feeling. All right. Falling, failing, and then trying. All right. Again, vulnerability is a curriculum. Honesty is a lesson plan. Consistency is the homework. All right. Second, model repair when you mess up. All right? What you will. Don't sweep it under the rug. Apologize. Explain why you lost it. Show them how to fix the damage you made. That's how kids learn accountability, not from some lectures, but from watching a grown up pick up the pieces, all right, and try to do better. Third, give them the language of their feelings. Teach a kid, all right, to name rage, shame, and fear. And you rob those emotions of their secret power. Teach breathing, teach pause, teach words that aren't curse or how can I say or silence. All right. Toolbox over trauma. Fourth, turn pain into practice. All right. If writing, all right, if writing, therapy, prayer, running, or creative fury helps you process, do it. All right. Do it loud sometimes. Let them see the ritual. Let them know pain could be transformed into something useful, not just passed on. All right. Listen, there's no single path. All right. Everyone's journey is different, but every parent, every aunt, uncle, coach, mentor, every grown ass human with a kid watching, all right, has this one duty. Don't hand them your unfinished wound, all right, as their starter kit. Teach them curiosity about their feelings. Teach them how to sit with their discomfort instead of weaponizing it. Teach them being a student, all right, and a teacher at the same time ain't weak. It's honest. You want legacy? Stop pretending control is being quiet. Real control is choosing what voice gets a mic time. All right. Wisdom or wound. Be the grown up who chooses wisdom more. All right. Than once. Make the house, how can I say, make the house a place where feelings can be felt, named, repaired, and redirected into growth. And if you still need to scream sometimes, man, scream into a pillow. Write that fury down. Turn it into a dart. Don't make it, how can I say, don't make it the lesson your child carries into the next room. All right. I don't know if y'all feel what I'm saying, but listen, man, be the kind parent who teaches repair, not revenge. Be the student who keeps learning. Be the teacher who keeps showing up. All right. That's how cycles end and how truth, all right, how true strength gets taught. Hey, but maybe I'm tripping. All right. Maybe I'm tripping. Mr. Oates, we got Mr. Oates up in this John, man. Blessings, blessings, Mr. Oates. How is you doing today, man? Guys, man, big shout out to Mr. Oates. If y'all want to go check him out, make sure y'all go check out The Answer. All right. Check out the sheriff on Dishing Dirt and Dishing Dirt Uncut. All right. He is funny as hell. I've had a few people, all right. He came on my panel one time, and before that, all right, I've had a few people, ask about Mr. Oates because listen, man, you gotta love, you gotta love Mr. Oates. Show him some real shit. I do know I love me some of Mr. Oates, all right. Like, listen, he is funny as shit. But shout out to Mr. Oates, man. Let me get back on topic real quick, all right, guys. So listen, man. Real talk. Healing ain't a hashtag or a weekend retreat. Healing is a daily, stubborn decision you make when nobody's watching. Before you try to fix somebody else's house, check your door. Before you step into someone else's living room with advice, make sure your roof ain't leaking. All right. Too many of us run around trying to stitch up, all right, other people's wounds while our own house is in flames. And that's how can I say, that's how whole neighborhoods catch fire. And I'm hoping a lot of people understand where I'm coming from, right? Give me 1 second while I attend my daughter real quick, guys. Give me 1 second.
We learned to divide our dreams and multiply our fears. But the ache in our hearts only grew with passing years. They gave us all the answers, except how to heal. The scars that run so deep, wounds that time can't seal. Yeah. They taught us how to share, but only the good. Smiles and laughter like we understood. But deep down inside, there's a storm we hide. Pain in our hearts, we're just trying to ride. Put on a mask, yeah, we play the part. But nobody sees the cracks in the hearts. We share our dreams, the highs and the lows. But when it comes to hurt, we just close the doors. We share the fun times, deflect the pain. Laughing in the sunshine, dancing in the rain. But the shadows linger, they creep and they crawl. Breaking us down, but we don't share at all. We got hate in our hearts, but we keep concealed. Taught to share the joy, but wounds, they stay unhealed. They say love was easy to divide, but the heartache never subsides. We tried to split everything into two, but the pain lingers strong and true. Shared our dreams, divided our fears, but the sorrow remained through the years. No matter how we tried to let go, the weight of our suffering continued to grow. Now we're apart trying to heal, but some wounds are too deep to conceal. They said splitting up will set us free, yet the pain lingers in you and me. In a world where rules are set in stone, the system's grip tightens, we're not alone. Bound by chains of injustice greed. Against the odds, we fight to be free. Mighty forces try to keep us down, but our spirits rise, refusing to drown. Defying norms, breaking through the mold. In this battle of wills, our story is told.
My bad, my bad. I had to attend my daughter real quick. All right. She needed my help with something real quick. All right. But listen, man. Back on topic, back on topic. All right. Listen, man. Like I was saying, people gotta fix their house before they fix the world. All right. And here's the problem. All right. And before I even say what the problem is, like I said, if my normal subscribers, when I'm done saying what I gotta say, want to come up, chop it up real quick and put their perspective out there, let a shorty know. All right. I'll drop the link of my community wall. All right. But right now, I'm going to finish saying back on topic what I was going to say. All right. Listen. This is the issue that we're having. So many folks play spiritual contractor with other people's lives while their own shit is still rotting in the basement. All right. They're the first to diagnose, the last to do the work. They hand out counseling like candy, but keep dragging the same chains into every relationship. Right. Trauma doesn't transfer by magic. It's passed on by people who haven't done their own work. All right. The truth about healing, all right. And this is what's crazy. This is my own opinion, all right. And if what I say offends you, makes you feel some type of way, if what someone in my chat, offends you or makes you feel some type of way, hey, exit left, all right. Or I could help you. I could block you. Let me end your suffering for you, all right. Block. Bye bye. I gotta get Candyman's drop. Yo, I love when Candyman says bye bye. I love it. I love it, man. Listen, man. The truth about healing is that healing starts, all right, alone. It starts in the quiet, in the mirror you don't want to look at. You can't teach repair if you don't know how to pick up broken pieces and put them back, all right, without pretending they never cracked. It's not about perfection. It's about doing the parts nobody sees. The therapy session, the apology, the journal pages, the humbling, all right, the ritual of sitting with pain and not weaponizing it. How to actually heal? All right, like I said earlier, everybody has their own way of doing their own thing. But me, this is what I've seen. That damn music. All right. My thing is, all right, stop medicating your trauma with other people. If you rely on drama to feel alive or use relationships to numb, you're postponing, all right, a reckoning. Get honest and cut the band-aid off. Own your mess publicly and privately. All right. Say it loud. I'm learning. It hurts you. I hurt you. I'll do better. Repair is louder than excuses. All right. Practice tools, not rituals. Learning, breathing. All right. Learn breathing, naming emotions, pausing before you speak, and then use them. Even when you feel righteous. All right. Consistency beats intensity. My bad. All right. Create process and rituals. All right. That you'll actually do. Writing therapy, prayer. All right. Sweat art. Pick what works and show up. All right. Turn chaos into craft. Teach repair through your mistakes. When you mess up, model making it right. Apologize, explain, and show the homework. All right. You do, how can I say, you do, show the homework you'll do to not repeat it. Hopefully I said that right. All right? Protect your house before you enter someone else's. You know what was my grandfather's number one rule? All right? If you're afraid of the fire, stay out the kitchen. Don't walk into explosions. You can't survive. What happens if you don't? All right? You keep recycling the same hurt into every room you enter. You become the reason people bail on relationships and faith. All right. You burn bridges you swear you wanted to save. All right. The next generation gets handed a starter kit of secrets, shames, wounds dressed up as legacies. All right. How this looks for parents. All right. Listen, kids mirror us. If you lash out, they learn to lash. If you hide, they inherit silence. Be the parent who cries, all right, then rebuilds. And I don't mean cry like you go everywhere whining and bleeding. No, all right. Be the parent who cries, then rebuilds, not the one who performs a smile over a creator. All right, like let's be real. Teach them language for feelings, all right, patience for repair, and the courage to be both student and teacher. Oh shit, we got the beautiful Shay Love in the building. And yes, I'm so hyped because listen, man, y'all don't understand. If y'all been watching me, y'all know that I'm very poetic, all right? And Shay Love is very inspirational, very motivational. And y'all just heard my poetry, right? All right, listen, yo, Shay Love inspires a lot of my poetry. Be encouraged with Marita. Let's talk with love. Shay Love. All right, it's a lot. Miss Akimi, Miss Jotas, but Shay Love. Have y'all ever heard her speaking in the mornings? Man, y'all better go check her out, man. Shout out to Shay Love, yo. Make sure y'all check her out. We got Young Riaz in the building. All right. Make sure y'all go check out my young boy in his shorts. All right. But back on topic. All right. Back on topic. All right. Damn, I missed the chat. All right, all right, all right. My bad, my bad. Listen, you want to be a healer, you got to do the hard work first. Be the adult who fixes the house so your kids don't inherit the ruins. Stop wandering into other people's crisis zones with your own unresolved baggage strapped on. Turn your trauma into tools, not trophies. If you can't be honest enough to sort your own life out, your advice will be the same, all right? Poison passed down in a prettier box. That's all. All right. My grandpa said it plain. If you're scared of the fire, stay out of the kitchen. It's rare to survive an explosion. Don't be surprised when that lesson finally makes sense. You started the spark by trying to fix what you never repaired. All right. Write it down, say it loud, do the work, then teach. Sometimes people need to realize, all right, that they are the reason that that match got lit. Nobody else lit the match that burnt down what you was building. You lit that match by not giving a fuck. You threw it and you burnt your whole house down. All right. You was like the fox, little pig, let me in. All right. And some of these kids out here is like, no, not by here, chinny chin chin. Girl, shit, man, not by here, chinny chin chin. My voice is fucked up. Mary Jane ain't helping me, man. Listen, we all go through it, man. I myself, I'm trying. Listen, I'm trying to fight the depression. That bitch be knocking at my door all the time. Like, yo, let me in. No. Then I'll knock, and I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll your house down. I got silver for houses. I got my house built with bricks. Let me stop. Let me stop. I sound like Blueface now. I just turned into Minnie Mouse. Shit. I can't. Man, yo, I need to stop. But I can roast myself. See, man, I ain't mean to turn into Blueface. All right, I apologize. I apologize. But I ain't gonna sit here and lie, man. It ain't easy. It ain't easy. All right, especially as a parent. One, and I know a lot of parents go through the same thing I'm going through, probably worse. All right, I'm probably going through it less than they are. But at the end of the day, listen, when you got to deal with a child that has mental health issues, right? Another child is in high school. One is already, another one that's a girl, and she's, getting, she's reaching that. She's still a little girl, right? But she's about to hit that, young lady stage. If you're a woman, you're a mother, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? So it's kind of like the phases that our kids go through, right? That's why it's called rearing your child, all right? And we have to deal with this. Mother, father, all right, it doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man raising these kids. These are things that we have to deal with, all right? Like, let me be blunt, all right? Listen, people out here got to stop wearing other people's shoes, all right? So let me be real blunt. I see folks out here trying to walk a mile in somebody else's shoes, talking loud, acting hard, copying the headline version of a life they didn't earn. But half of y'all can't even bear the cross that comes with being yourself. All right. The shoes on your feet are flaming. I'm not going to sit here and lie. All right. The shoes on your feet are flaming. Like, it's crazy because from your feet flaming, your ankles melted off. And you're still trying to flex. Like you're built like you built that path. You want to be like the person, how can I say? You want to be like the person with the platform, the shine, all right? The the clout, as they say it, right? Cool, cool. But stop pretending you did the work. Stop trying to be everything they are while you're nothing like them. All right, at the root. Mimicry ain't mastery. All right. It's how can I say desperation in a costume. And desperation burns. All right. It burns the people nearest to you. All right. We say we want less poverty, fewer streets full of crimes, and yeah, fix the system. But y'all keep skipping the thing that sits under all that: mental health, trauma, shame, unprocessed rage. That's the engine. All right. Money alone won't stop a wound from leaking. All right. Into relationships, into parenting, into every DM. All right. How can I say? Yeah, I said it right. Into every DM and comment thread. Yet now we glorify the wound. We praise the toxic hustle. We protect predators behind a digital veil. Like they earn our loyalty by being loud. That ain't loyalty. That's complicity. All right. Look at how people rally behind abusers. All right. Brand while slicing the survivors into pieces. All right. They rally behind abusers' brands while slicing the survivors into pieces. All right. I've seen it and it's ugly. We cheer the spectacle and cancel the person asking for help. We crown chaos and blame the quiet. Why? Because it's easier to protect the headline than to, how can I say, own the shame. Because people would rather defend a myth than do the painful, how can I say, work of repair. All right, here's the lesson: copying a life of a coward's shortcut. Hmm. Healing is the route. Healing is the hard route. Healing asks for honesty. It asks for confession. It asks you for empathy. All right. How can I say? It asks you to empty the ash. All right, out of your chest, so you don't pass it. All right, so you don't pass that burn to somebody else. If you can't sit with your pain without weaponizing it, then you don't get to teach anyone else how to be whole. Maybe I'm tripping. All right, maybe I'm talking shit. But what I'm saying is coming from deep within. Right? So what do we do about it? All right. For me, in my opinion, we got to stop idolizing loud chaos. All right. Call out predators, not defend them because they entertain you. Teach the kids to name feelings. Don't sell them. All right. A curated act of tough. If you're acting like somebody else, ask why. Ask why are you escaping? Are you hiding? Are you still breastfeeding an old wound? All right. Turn your hurt into craft. Write, speak, sweat, pray. All right, but shrink your ego so your heart can breathe. Maybe maybe I'm not making sense to some, and I'm hoping it doesn't go over your head. But if you understand, you understand. You have to listen carefully. All right, not just hear me out, but listen to what I am saying. All right, because I'm trying to say this in a way where people understand. All right, we have to protect the vulnerable before you protect your image. Reputation ain't worth a ruined soul. And parents, please hear me. Your kids are watching what you rehearse, not what you preach. If you're playing tough online and crying in the dark, they'll inherit the performance. All right. If you stay broke, all right, of inner work and parade, survivor, like a badge, they'll inherit the role of the next wounded bearer. All right. Last night, I said even if we cut poverty off at the roots, crimes wouldn't vanish. And I meant it. Money doesn't stitch a mind that's been taught to numb, all right, to lash, to glorify harm. We got to invest in the unseen, all right? Therapy, mentorship, honest rituals of repair, and a culture that stops protecting predators for clicks, all right? You want change? Stop pretending, all right? Own your mess. Stop copying the loud person and become, all right, the deep one. Teach, repair, model empathy. How can I say, hold abusers accountable, even when how can I say, even when they've got a legion of fans ready to gaslight the truth, all right? If you can't survive your own fire, stay out of the kitchen. Don't bring your burning shoes into someone else's home. And for God's sake, stop passing down your unfinished wreckage as legacy. That's not culture, it's a curse. Break it, all right? Burn the script and write your own lines. Hey, hey, how you doing? Feeling better, handsome. I'm gonna finish this because I don't think I got anybody gonna come up. So listen, I'm just gonna say this, all right, and I'm gonna end my live. I don't know how long I've been on this, John. All right, I really wanted some of y'all to come up on this, John, give y'all perspectives, but I doubt anybody's gonna come up like Mr. Oates, all right, or Earth Day and stuff like that, or Shayla or anybody. So listen, I'm just gonna listen. I'm gonna give y'all my final thought and end this, and I would love to hear y'all, y'all perspectives in the comments down below. Let's get the discussion started, all right? But listen, man, listen. You good? This is the end of the set, right? And the start of the real work. We walk through the truth. We've been carrying hurt like luggage, all right? Hiding it under smiles, performing strength while bleeding on the people who didn't cut us. We watched how the pain gets handed down, all right? How kids mimic the worst parts of us because we taught them silence, rage, or their own, how can I say, we taught them silence, rage, or the performance of fine. We called out the fake healers, right? Who fix other people's houses while their own roofs caving in. We called out the copycats wearing flaming shoes, trying to be what they ain't. And we've named the, how can I say, ugliness of protecting abusers behind a digital veil. We said money won't erase crime, all right, if minds stay wounded and cultures keep glorifying harm. We said healing is messy, private, relentless work, not a headline, not a flex, not a trophy to wave while you keep hurting people. All right. So here's the change, all right, in the way out. First, stop giving your pain a megaphone. All right. Stop letting trauma drive the car while wisdom sits in the trunk. When you snap, own it. When you hurt someone, repair it. Teach repair by doing repair. Second, be honest with your kids. Let them see you fail, all right? And then make it right. Give them language for rage, shame, fear. Give them tools, all right? Breathing, naming, pausing, not performance. Third, transform your wound into a tool. Write the rage into ink. Sweat it out. Sit with it. Find the rituals that turn chaos into craft. Fourth, Stop idolizing noise and protecting predators because they're entertaining or profitable. All right. Hold people accountable even when it's uncomfortable. Protect the vulnerable before you protect your image. Fifth, all right. Stay a student and be a teacher at the same time. Humility, all right. Humility in your progress, consistency in your practice. And remember the ancestors, all right? They survived what we can't even imagine, all right? Chains, loss, erasure, and still they taught us how to hold on, how to keep faith, how to turn survival into a story. When you feel like hiding your truth, remember, whispering through the bloodlines, do better, teach better, heal so that, how can I say, heal so those after you don't have to. They didn't survive for us to keep passing down silence and shame. They survived so that we could build, all right? They survived so that we could build our own, how can I say, on their courage and do the work they were denied. Honored, all right? Honor that by breaking the cycle, not repeating it. This isn't soft, all right? It's not easy. It's the hardest kind of work because, how can I say, it asks you to face the parts of you, right, that you'd rather blame on someone else. But if you want legacy, all right, worth leaving, if you want, how can I say, kids who carry courage instead of curses, if you want a community that repairs instead of repeats, start with your own damn self. Sit in the mirror, admit the truth, do the homework, teach, repair. Stop bleeding on the innocent. Stop copying flames you can't walk in. Be the grown, how can I say, I'm gonna put it like this, all right? Be the one who repairs the house so the next generation can build something at last. All right. We don't erase the past by pretending, all right, it never happened. We honor the past by refusing to hand it, all right? How can I say? By refusing to hand it its unfinished hurt to the future. Do the hard work, write the pages, say the apologies, show the kids how to rebuild, let the ancestors watch and be proud. And with that being said, man, I'm Shorty gonna see you on her next live, and we out.
Religiously, understand the seven principles of hell. You'll understand the seven demons within you. You'll understand the whole concept. It's a whole metaphysical concept. We ain't go over that, but anyway, so
Prayers out for our real men.